On the show.
All right then, Senator. Now, you left APC for the SDP ahead of the 2023 elections, and now you're back in the APC. So what impression are you giving Rivers electorate and your supporters on account of this movement?
Well, first of all, let me thank you for the opportunity you've given to me to explain what I'm doing and why. As you know, politics is not a singular sport. It is not something you play alone. It is a team sport in which you play with other people. So when we talk about Senator Magnus Abe, it's not just me. There are thousands and thousands of Rivers people who have invested their political fortune in the decisions we take and what we're doing. And so they are part of everything that we do. We left the All Progressives Congress before the last elections because of the way and manner in which the party handled our grievances within the APC at that time. And before we left, Nigerians, of course, remember that I was one of those who spearheaded the TINUBU campaign here in Rivers State in the South, and I was a member of the strategic committee for the president's campaign at that time. So when I left, I made it clear, even on this show, that I was leaving the party to be able to expand the political space for myself and my supporters in Rivers State, but that we still remained committed to the ideals of the APC and the APC presidential candidate at that time, Asiwaju Ahmed Bola Tinubu. We made that very clear, even on this show. And when I met with the leadership of the SDP, I equally made it clear to them that this is where we are, and these are the reasons for which we wanted an alternative platform to be able to express ourselves. And I'm very, very grateful. I remain extremely grateful to the SDP for giving us that opportunity, that privilege to be part of such a great party and to be able to express ourselves to the people of Rivers State on their platform. But I think everybody understood at the time that this was something created more by the exigency of the time than anything else. If you recollect, sir, I was one of the 12 senators on the floor of the National Assembly on national television that walked out of the PDP to help found the APC. I was also one of the 2 senators from the South that walked out in the NPDP from the Eagle Square to kickstart the formation of the APC in this country. So we have been key stakeholders in the party. But because of the inability of the mechanisms within the APC to handle our grievances at that time, we were forced to look elsewhere to be able to express ourselves to Rivers people. Those conditions no longer exist, and the bulk of our supporters do not want to be left out of the mainstream of the politics of the state and the nation. And one must also remember that apart from myself, and those of us who became candidates on the platform of the SDP, the bulk of our supporters actually did not leave the APC at the time. So we're where we are now. The situations are different. This is a new year. There's a new leadership at the party, and there's also a new leadership in the country. And we believe that a lot of us within the APC here in Rivers State, we've all learned from the events of the past, and I believe that given the circumstances in the state and in the party, it is proper for us to make a move to try to heal our differences and rebuild the APC into a formidable political machine that can deliver on the expectations of Rivers people. I think that is what we would like to do, and that is what we think is appropriate for us to do now. And secondly, it makes no sense for me to stay in the SDP and continue to support the policies and programs of the president who is in another party, when sometimes this may be contrary to the stated position of the SDP. So to be able to continue to give my full support to the president, I think it is important that we should all return back to the All Progressives Congress and continue to give whatever support we can to achieve the dreams for which we set out initially.
Now, you talked about politics being a team sport, but I guess it should be of like minds, and not strange bedfellows. So I'd like you to tell us the ideology that you share with the APC and its members, ideology that you were willing to jettison when your personal ambition was under threat, and also how will going back to the APC help your supporters in Rivers State?
Well, first of all, when you talk of what ideology we jettisoned, the disagreement we had in the party was not over ideology. It was over process and the way and manner grievances within the party were handled. If you remember at that time, a lot of us who indicated interest in aspiring for positions within the party were flatly denied by fiat. And every effort we tried to engage the leadership of the party in a discussion to try to accommodate the aspirations of others, not just myself, was not met with the proper response. So it wasn't an ideological disagreement more than it was more of a procedural or pragmatic, or would I say human disagreement at the time, because we just couldn't be accommodated within what was going on in the party. So we had to leave. And talking of how we can better support the interests of our members within the state, as you know, the federal government is made up by the All Progressives Congress, and the state here is also of a different political party that is different from our own group. So to realign the interest of our members in proper line with the federal government and the political movement of the country at the national level, we believe that that politics can best be played within the All Progressives Congress. So it's not just about me and my ambitions. That's not the way it works. But the interest of all these people, their aggregate interest, their ability to be able to participate fully in the government and the party of the day cannot be served by us remaining outside the mainstream. So their interests have to be taken into consideration as well. And it is also clear that if we don't come together in the states and we remain fragmented the way we have been, it will be difficult for us as a political team to be able to be successful in the politics of Rivers State. All of us are all from the same family, and I believe that given the dynamics of today, if we are able to work together, we stand a better chance than working individually. And therefore, coming into the All Progressive Congress to create a bigger family will help a lot of our supporters who have been with us all these years to also be able to achieve their own hopes and expectations in the future within the polity. That's part of the decision.
Indeed, Senator Abe, you talked about the situation and, of course, dynamics being different as of today. But what guarantees do we have, and of course the public in Rivers State, that you won't exit APC again if things don't conform to your expectations?
First of all, there is no party that anybody joins by giving that kind of guarantee. That's not the way politics works. But what I want to say is that I believe that not just me, but all of us who are today positioned to play a role in the party have all learned from our experiences in the past. Chief Tony Okocha, who is the current caretaker committee chairman appointed by the National, was also a part of that movement when we took that decision at that time that the way the party was going was not appropriate. And I believe that the national chairman today was also in Rivers State at that time. He was the chairman of the National Committee for the by-elections in Rivers State. So he's very, very, very familiar with the challenges of Rivers politics. So I think that the dynamics are totally different, and hopefully the outcomes will be totally different. There's no obligation for anybody to give any kind of permanent guarantee that you will forever remain in a party before you can join it. I don't think anybody has done that before in this country. But I am determined to work with others to try to create an atmosphere in which those Rivers people that are interested in building a Rivers State based on the ideologies and the principles of the president and the APC will be able to work together in Rivers State, and we can achieve more. And I've always been ready to make whatever sacrifices I personally would need to make to bring that about. So it's left to see how it works out, but I'm very, very optimistic that if we all work together, we can achieve more. I don't think any one of us can do it alone.
Now, Senator Abe, you've said you're going back to the APC, to support the ideals of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. But I'm wondering what advice you'd give to Nigerians who are growing tired of the severe economic hardship they've faced, since they came to power. He's been taking a lot of bold decisions without doing enough, to cushion its impact on citizens, or even cuts on the cost of governance in a bid to show empathy with the people. So how would you encourage such Nigerians, to keep supporting him?
Well, I do have to admit that it's not easy for anybody, including myself, the present economic challenges all across the country. But Nigerians, if we all want to be honest, would also admit that some of the decisions the president has taken are the same things that all of us have been calling for, that this country needs to do in order to reposition our economy. Now, there is no time, there is no way that these kind of measures can be taken without pain because of the the upheaval it will naturally cause in the economic dynamics of the society. So this pain is inevitable. What I have said, and what I want to repeat here, is that however good the policies may be, if we don't have honest, humble, and committed people in positions and in the civil service that will implement these policies to the best of their ability with honesty and dedication by putting the country first, no matter how good the policies are, we may not be able to achieve exactly what we need. So I think this appeal is not just to the Nigerian people, who I believe that despite what you see, a majority of them understand that these decisions were necessary and ultimately it will help the society. But everybody who has a role to play at this point, has a duty to do it in a manner that shows concern and empathy for what the society is going through. I think that appeal should be made to those who are serving in the government and to those of us who are not in the government. If they run the government in such a way that people who are not in the government can prosper, I think that a lot of the complaints that you're hearing now will begin to thin out. So I think it's too early for us to pass any kind of judgment on these policies because they've just been brought about. Yes, there is pain, but I believe that, I don't know, are you hearing me, please?
Yes, we are. Go ahead.
Hello?
Go ahead.
Yes. So I believe that what the government needs now is support. Yes, there are lapses in the system, especially when you talk of the fact that Nigerians would like to see public officials that show respect for and empathy for what the public is going through by downplaying their own, what I would call obvious consumption. You know, let everybody be seen to be reducing what they are taking because of the pain the country is going through, so that it encourages those who are sacrificing to continue to make that sacrifice in the firm belief that we're all going in the same direction. So I do agree that more can be done in that respect, but I also think that a lot of the criticism that is being targeted that the policies are not sincere because they're being given by people who supported the policies even before they were implemented. So if you knew that it was right to remove subsidy and you were supporting it, you believed that the foreign exchange regime was being fraudulently managed and was impoverishing the people of this country, and then Tinubu has come now to change those things, why are you attacking the same policy that you supported because you do not support Tinubu? That's just the problem I see with some of the criticism. Outside of that, in a democracy, people should feel free to speak their mind about things that are not going well. And then those who are served with the responsibility of managing our public affairs should be humble enough to listen to people when they complain. But the complaints should be genuine by people who are genuinely trying to help us to do better. That's what I'll say about that.
Indeed, Senator. Interesting you should mention the issue about empathy for the public here. And if we may digress a little, how would you assess governance in Rivers State at the moment? The region has been in the news for the wrong reasons for some time now. What should be the major cues in developing Rivers State devoid of politicking at the moment?
I don't want to say that I'm assessing the government of Rivers State at the moment. I think that would be unfair given the circumstances in which the government has operated and given the economic climate in the country. The same thing I'm saying about the government at the federal level, that people should continue to show support and help the government to achieve its policies. It's also the same thing I would say as far as Rivers State is concerned. But some of the optics coming out of Rivers State has been quite troubling because it doesn't give one the impression that the government actually has room to focus on the challenges and problems that are facing Rivers people in their day-to-day efforts to pay their children's school fees, get jobs, and manage their families. I think that the entire optics coming out of Rivers State is all focused on politics and things that I don't think help the majority of Rivers people. I think that the sooner we downplay some of these politics and actually give more attention to the bread and butter issues that are topmost in the minds of Rivers people, the better it will be for Rivers State. So for me, I would not like to assess the level of governance in the state at this time. I think it is too early. But I would like to say that everybody should remember that time is not on anybody's side. And those who have sincere plans for the betterment of the lives of the people that they have been elected to govern should focus on it and know that there is no time. They just have to deliver results because that is what the people expect.
Well, if you're not assessing governance in Rivers State at the moment, what about giving us your thoughts on the conflict, between Governor Sim Fubara and his predecessor, Nyesom Wike, and of course the peace deal, brokered by President Tinubu between the two gentlemen?
Well, I think that since after the peace deal was signed, like I said to people here, I think that what the president did, in my opinion, was what we as lawyers would say, asking the parties to return to status quo ante bellum. That's everybody go back to where you were before the crisis started. And all the key actors in the drama have agreed to do that. In other words, if you had governor, hold governor, you had assembly, hold assembly, you had commissioner, hold, everybody stay where you were and try and you people go and work together. I think that's what the president did, which is what any father in his position, if the two people come to you to settle us, that is an obvious way to try to restore peace so that nobody feels that they've lost everything. But the challenge in the situation is, of course, that these are matters that affect interests outside of those who were party to the agreement. And a lot of those people may not accept that settlement in the way it is. Like I hear the PDP is still heading to court over the question of defection by the lawmaker. So all those ones cannot be part of the deal that the president brokered. But in terms of what he did, I think that has restored peace in the state. Because the way the state was heating up prior to that peace deal, I don't know where we would have been now but for that intervention. So I think it was timely. I think the governor was smart to accept the deal, because if you are in a position where you don't have the necessary leg room to be able to fight and win, it is better to make peace in the interest of everybody so that we can all have space to focus on development. But how that will work finally is left to those who are involved. For me, I believe that the matter is an internal matter of the People's Democratic Party, and I really don't want to get involved. But my position has been clear, that we have only one governor at a time, and that all Rivers people should give the necessary respect and cooperation to the governor, including members of the assembly, to enable them do their job so that the state can move forward.
Indeed, Senator Abe, I know it's still early days, but now that you're back in APC, what are the prospects of running for the governorship position in the next election? Briefly, please.
Sorry, I didn't hear you clearly.
The prospect of you running for governorship position in the next election, now that you're back in APC, briefly, please, Senator.
You know, I don't want it to look like everything I'm doing is about running for governor. Sometimes you let events play out. The last elections are over. I withdrew my case in the court. And I said that my intention for doing that was to allow peace to reign in the state and allow all of us to concentrate on governance and development within the state. I think that is the position I still hold until now. I don't want people to, when they look at me, all they look at is that I'm doing whatever I'm doing because I want to go and run for governor. That's not the case. Like I explained from the beginning of this journey, it is not about me. It is about better lives for Rivers people and for opportunities for those who would, everybody has one life to live, and we should do the best we can to make it as easy for our brother as it is for ourselves. So there are different ways in which we can achieve that. So I'm not going to the APC because I want to go and run for governor, no. I'm going to the APC because I want us to come together and build a formidable political party that can help all of us. And I'm going to the APC because I want to be in a better position to be able to continue to support the president whose policies and programs I advocated for before he became president, in the firm hope that being in the same platform will give me an opportunity to do so honestly without appearing to be at divergence with my political party. So those are my reasons for going. The politics of 2027 is still far for anybody to call, but I assure you that I'm not going to the APC to fight for leadership or fight for structure or fight. That's not what I'm going to do there. I genuinely, sincerely want us to come together and build a party that can serve Rivers people and offer an alternative to the people of Rivers State if they need one. That's what I think we should all do.
On that note, Senator Magnus Abe, thank you so much for joining us.